Someone once said that there is something more rare, scarce, than ability, and it's the ability to recognize ability. Someone had to first recognize the ability of our guest, Gil Gerard, Buck Rogers. Who was that?
Oh, it was a guy I picked up in a cab one night, and when I was a cab driver, and just in talking about what I did and everything else besides drive a cab, he found out I went to acting school, and he said, you know, would you like to do extra work? Because I wasn't too crazy about the people I was working for when I was driving a cab. So I said, well, I don't know. And he said, well, it pays about $29.95 a day plus lunch, and my lunch sounded kind of interesting because I wasn't eating every day. So I said, yeah. So he said, well, give me a call next week. I'd like to help you out. So I called next week, and then the next day I was on the set of Love Story working as an extra, and then that was the beginning of it.
Amazing. Buck Rogers moves nights this year from Thursday to Saturday. It also has some other significant changes.
Yeah, we made a complete change in the creative staff on Buck Rogers, and we've added some new characters and changed the format. Buck is no longer earthbound. We're now in search of the lost tribes of Earth, the people that were out on the other planets and colonies all over the galaxy, and were lost track of because of the tremendous catastrophe of the Holocaust. And so we're also getting more into people-to-people type of stories, and the characters that people can identify with, more so than the special effects and all those kinds of things. Because it's always been my feeling that people just don't relate to a spaceship going across the screen that often. I mean, it's interesting once and maybe twice, and after that, you've seen it already. So the thing that people really like, I think, is how does one person relate to another, and what is their aspect, and what is their point of view, and what's this person's point of view. And
that's not always easy to achieve in science fiction.
No, it's not, but it's if you just go to the basic idea of people-to-people stories, it doesn't matter what the genre is. It can be a Western, it can be science fiction, it can be a comedy, anything. But, you know, so many times last year it was, you know, I felt that people really didn't get to know the villains enough to even care whether they won or lost, or didn't know what they were up to, or what their motivation was, or anything else. And I think it's important that even the villain at least be given his point of view, and that he be put in such a way that he's a real threat.
Sure.
When you've got Buck just blasting down walls and everything else, I mean, people go, yawn, yawn, you know, Buck's going to do it. But in the shows coming up, I mean, Buck will be in real jeopardy, and he'll be running into people who have, if not the same abilities, even more abilities in some areas than Buck has. So it's, you know, there's a real conflict there with the audience saying, my God, you know, this may be it.
Caring is really the word there.
Right.
And, you know, I think we're about the same age, and it seems to me that what youngsters are interested in, we know the women are interested in Gil Gerard and Buck Rogers, but the youngsters, too, it shifted from cowboys to police, and space is the in thing now.
Well, I think my feeling has always been that there's an audience for any good show. It can be, if it's a good Western, a good police story, good science fiction, whatever it is. I think right now that the audience has been sort of discovered by Star Wars. Okay. I think what happened was that Star Wars came out and showed the industry that there is an audience out there for science fiction. And so now everything is science fiction. But I think that people would buy a good Western, or a good police story, a good romance, a good comedy, whatever.
What do you like best about the show, Buck Rogers in the 25th Century?
I like the character Buck Rogers. I enjoy doing that character, and I like the challenge of carrying a load like the series, and having that on my back. I enjoy that. I like the sense of humor that Buck has, and the qualities of Buck Rogers. I enjoy doing it.
And we in Central Illinois like the show. Thank you.
Thank you.
Gil Gerard, our guest, and you can see him Saturday nights here on WEEK TV.